When it comes to having a power system in a series, I think having a proper ranking system is needed. And the one thing about Shadow Slave is that their ranking system is top tier. In Shadow Slaves, there are two paths to the ranking system. The first path is to Divinity, and the second path is to Profanity. In this video, we're just going to go over the Path of Divinity. This path is normally for humans who get infected by the Nightmare spell. And in this path, there are 7 ranks. The first path is called a Sleeper, which is the Dormant rank. The second rank is called the Awakened. The third path is called the Ascendant, which is also called Master. The fourth path is called Transcendent, which is also called Saint. The fifth path is called Supreme, which is also called a Sovereign. And then we have the 6, which is Sacred. And then we have 7, which is Divine. And the power gaps from each rank is exponentially stronger. So for instance, when you go from Sleeper to Awakened, the power level gap is crazy. When you go from Awakened to Master, the gap is bigger from Awakened to Master than it was from Awakened to Sleeper. And when you go from Master to Transcendent, the gap in power is even bigger than the previous gap. And so on and so on. Like for instance, Masters are crazy strong, right? But depending on the Saint, a Saint could wipe out 20 to 30 Masters, no problem. That's just how big and gap their power is. And don't let them have an advantageous aspect. But each rank in the system has its reasons for being there. Like for instance, when you start off as an aspirant, as a person who hasn't passed their first nightmare yet, you are only given attributes of what your potential power could be. So it's just like getting a little taste of it. But when an aspirant passes that first nightmare and becomes an awakened, they actually get their aspect. And their aspect actually gets a rank. And that ranking is based off of how well they perform during the nightmare. So the spell technically grades them. And based off of what the spell grades them, they give a boon to whatever that aspect is. But an awakened also gets something else. They also get what's called a flaw. And that is given in exchange to balance out whatever power they were received. This is one of the best things that I think Shadow Slave could have done to the series. Because it created a level of balance and there's not like one super overpowered character. Everybody has a weakness. Also, when you become an awakened, you get a much longer lifespan as well. But we really don't know how long that lifespan truly is. When you become awakened, your body also becomes a lot better. Like, you become super attractive. Like, all the flaws in your face or whatever becomes almost the best version of that. You might have been low-key kind of ugly as a dormant person, but when you become awakened, you low-key one of the baddest and finest people out there. And that also goes along with their strength, speed, healing, all that. They basically become superhuman. Straight up super serum Captain America type stuff. Also, there's another caveat to becoming an awakened. When you go to sleep in real life, you don't just stay there. You get sent back to the dream realm. You have to be in there for several hours based off how long you sleep to get back to access in the real world to your body. And they have to anchor themselves in a specific gateway in the dream realm where their body will go. But when you become a master, things start changing drastically. First off, when you go to sleep, your body doesn't go to the dream realm anymore. You can actually just go to sleep and be cool. Also, as a master, you can go back and forth to the dream realm as you please. And this is because you can take your actual body into the dream realm. Before, it was just whatever was up here in your soul. And also, when you become a master, you become even better looking than you did once you become an ascendant. You're starting to leave what is known to be a normal human. You're getting closer to demigod status than you are a human status. Also, masters can bring innate objects from the real world into the dream realm. And there are no weak masters ever. Anyone who became a master was elite by just completing it. Because only the strongest of the strong and the elite could even compete with it. Also, when you become a master, you actually get a whole new body. Your real body and your soul body fuse together and become one. So depending on certain people and their aspects, they really push to become a master because their real body has certain limitations to it that their soul body doesn't have. Also, another perk when you become a master is that you get this innate ability to control soul essence. And soul essence is the equivalent to like chakra or ki. And soul essence can literally help augment their bodies even further. And soul essence is also used to activate and use their aspects. But one downfall to becoming a master is that their call to the nightmare gates is way stronger than what it was when they were awakened. This could sometimes hurt them because their call could mess up the tether that they have in the dream realm, and they could end up in just a random spot within the dream realm or a nightmare. But as a master, they can tell what the potency and what level of nightmare gate is opening though, too. This allows them to make a better judgment on how to proceed with the gate. And when you think about it, things get even crazier once they become a saint. This rank is where the mortal assumes abilities and aspects of a divine. Well, generally just the first qualities of being a divine. And this involves transforming your soul essence core into something extremely more potent. And it just becomes much more voluminous as well. They also gain this ability to transform, and they transform into an unearthly being. Some saints transform into a different form of a beast, while other saints have a different type of transformation. At this level, saints become mini gateways to the dream realm. They're able to go back and forth between the two realms, and they can also bring living creatures back and forth with them. There is a limit to how much they can bring with them, but the fact that they can bring other living creatures to that realm is impressive as hell. Saints can also replenish their spirit essence from a different way. They can replenish their spirit essence from the world, as long as they are within their element. This is something that you couldn't do as a normal master. You kind of have to let it replenish over time like a stamina bar. And this is just what happens when you pass the third nightmare. When you pass the fourth nightmare, you become a sovereign. Once you become a sovereign, which only maybe like 3 people have done, you are no longer tied to the waking realm. You primarily reside in the dream realm. And at this point, you basically become a god. And this is where they unlock the ability to develop a domain. And a domain is the physical representation of the sovereign's aspect. And it basically gives them authority over everything in that domain as well. The sovereigns are already crazy powerful and super strong. They're almost like God. But with their domain's help, they're practically invincible. And they grow their domains by having saints follow them. And when those saints follow them, they can attach themselves to citadels, which expands the sovereign's domain, which in turn makes the sovereign even more powerful. There are 2 other ranks past sovereign, which, like I said, are the sacred and the divine, but we don't know a whole lot about them yet. So when that comes out, I'll update you guys. But yeah, this was the breakdown of the divine path in Shadow Slave. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you guys want me to do next.